So listen, I always love to be around, entrepreneurs and folks that are, making revenues in multiple different businesses, but it seems like there's always the one primary business that leads to the success. I'm sitting here with my brother, my partner, and my accountant, Anthony Moriello.
Thank you, Rob. Hello.
6 practices in 2 separate states.
Yes, sir.
Both in New York and New Jersey.
Yep.
He's also run some campaigns for some politicians in New York City for the last couple of years.
Yes, we have.
One of which was the mighty Curtis Sliwa. Major shout out to you, Curtis. Thank you for running, and thank you for everything you've done over the last 30 years.
What a gentleman, man.
What was that like? Can we just talk about Curtis?
Let's go.
I want to go right there.
Sidebar, yeah.
Because when I'm a little kid, you guys running the Guardian Angels. If anyone knows about the New York City area, Guardian Angels, the Red Cap.
Absolutely.
And he's the guy that literally went from the streets to the suites.
Without a doubt.
Right? That's who he is.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes and no, because he is still your neighbor, man.
But he's still in the streets. He relates on the streets.
True this. But I'll be honest, so once I got the call, little starstruck.
Wait, time out. Yep. Here's what I want to know, everybody. How does Anthony, who by the way was a paper boy and that was his first entrepreneurial venture years ago?
Yeah.
How do you even get the call?
Quite a few years ago. Sure. Thank you for acknowledging that, Rob.
Yeah.
So we had done political campaigns all the way back since 2008.
I remember.
And that initial relationship was a referral. And it was the then borough president of Staten Island was running for re-election. Man, that led to such great experience. Friendships really formed. Yeah. That gentleman, to this day, mails my boys checks at Christmas time, calls my wife to check up. Just a really sweet grandfather figure. Up there in age, but a real, true gentleman.
Did you know him from Staten Island?
I knew him, that he was the borough president.
So this is important. Anyone out there, reputation, right? Relationship capital.
Absolutely.
Somewhere, somehow, someone referred you to this person.
Correct.
Right? And listen, we all get opportunities, and no one has to hit a grand slam in this opportunity except for one thing, which I think is integrity. Right?
Above all else.
And I know that's who you are. You're a man of great integrity.
Thank you much, man.
I want to play with that a little bit because all of a sudden you had this opportunity. Mm-hmm. It sounds like you did a really good job with it. Yep. And from that springboard, what happened next?
Without a doubt. So you're right. And that was a training ground. So when we got that call, we'll rewind to then. Yeah. Much younger Anthony, much younger tax fella. Am I up to it? Am I up for you? Start doubting yourself.
I still do that every day.
Yeah. And that voice in your head is you've never, because this is not like tax accounting. This is not like bookkeeping. This is a total different method with New York City Campaign Finance Board.
And it's different than New York City Campaign Finance Board. I'm sure is different than Oklahoma's, Nebraska's, Maryland's.
Without a doubt.
We're talking about
Absolutely.
The game, the World Series.
Big leagues of sorts.
The big leagues,
Correct. They've got their own software.
Of course they do.
They've got their own training. They have their own audit process.
Of course they do.
And it's not like IRS. You might be audited. You might not. You might skate by. There is a guarantee that every single campaign in the New York City races will be audited. Back then, it was actually twice. We had during the campaign, we were audited for a number of different things, no fault of our own.
Yep.
And then every single campaign, when the election is over, you've got a post-election audit.
Yeah, and this is because New York City is a trigger. It's a lightning rod. There's a lot of influence, and they want to make sure that everything is on the level.
Without a doubt. Yeah. And that is every single level. Yeah. Rob donated to the campaign. Who is he? Did we put him through the database? Are you doing business with the city? And it looks like you're trying to influence somebody. Yes. We've got to vet you out.
Yeah.
But another major reason why the city is so interested in this is that if you're a qualifying contributor, the city is going to give me $8 to every $1 that you contribute.
Wow, I didn't know.
So they're going to give an 8-to-1 ratio.
That's pretty awesome.
Millions of dollars are going in and out of these accounts, and of course, New York City has an interest. Not only who contributed, but where did we spend the money?
Yeah.
Is it a shell company?
Yep.
Is it a relative of the candidate? So those audits are not just okay, well, your income match your expenses and neat and tidy. They go deep.
Yeah.
So back to the 2008 one, it was an experience unlike any other. The candidate was a gentleman, grandfatherly figure, beautiful learning experience there.
Yeah. Do you mind if I ask, did he win?
He did win.
What did that feel like? being part of that?
That felt fantastic.
Like a championship thing? Was it like a sport?
Yeah, and
you're
I'm
part
only
of
on the
team?
sidelines. Yeah,
But you're still part of the team,
part of
right?
the team.
You were in the locker room
overall
afterwards?
Team. Yes, I was.
Were you part of the celebration?
Yes, we were.
Were you
Yes.
celebrating like a madman?
I was celebrating like an integrious accountant.
Were you celebrating like a Don?
Define. So I mean, that was a lot of years ago, and I don't remember. So there's your answer, Rob. Do with it what you will. So that opened up, and again, man, to think how many years ago that was. That opened up a lot of relationship doors, and the experience to have that on the resume. Like I said, that was a step aside what we normally do. You get referred over as a business from one business person to another. Once we cut our teeth there. We were now referred.
Yeah.
And it was a public advocate, and it was somebody running for Staten Island Borough President again, ultimately leading up to New York City Mayor.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, man, the experience and the knowledge and just a good group of people that you're now shoulder to shoulder with.
What is that like?
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. And there's
Proximity is power, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And there's a sense of pride in not only what we're doing, but to be associated with that individual.
Yeah.
You know, two sides of every coin, because now we get people who say, "Oh, I can't believe you're backing that guy." You know,
Yeah, because the bigger you get, the more, yeah.
And it's politics in 2022.
Yeah.
Not the same as 2008. You know,
Fair point,
So
yeah.
all of a sudden, something we're priding ourselves on look at who we are and who we serve can become, I can't believe you're aligned with this guy or not that guy. Or so in the age of political correctness, you want to proudly state, hey, this is the job we've been entrusted to,
Yeah.
without
Well said, Ann.
stepping on any toes as to
listen,
say.
let me just jump in. By the way, what Anthony is sharing right now, it's so important. Like what he's talking about, thank you, is the power of integrity, the power of integrity-based human influence, right? How you communicate with people, how do you follow up with your communication? I know folks that could communicate real well. They say what they're going to do, but behind the scenes, it doesn't.
It falls apart.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
Correct.
So the reputation is really born on what result you produce based on what you say you're going to do, and the ability with love, right? The ability with effective, elevated communication. You don't need to know the best words in a dictionary, but speak from the heart, touch the heart.
Without a doubt.
Really creates phenomenal shoulder-to-shoulder synergies that, listen, whether the campaign works or not, I'm sure now you get referrals in a space that you never did before based on those relationships in different parts of your practice.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Growing the practice organically, because now once that door is open, like you're saying, we do what we say what we do.
Yeah.
That leads to some humility. Hey,
Yep.
you don't hit a home run every single time.
Yeah.
So there are times where you go to the plate, you strike out. Maybe
Yep.
I missed a deadline. Maybe there was a mistake. Owning that, and this is the hardest
Yes,
lesson, Rob.
I'm
You
with
know,
you. Yep.
owning that mistake and saying, here's what happened, how it happened, and what I'm going to do to fix it. And when you know in your heart,
Yep.
I have done my all, and if I'm fired for, and not that it came close to that, I don't want to.
No, but that's a good point, dude.
If I am
Yeah.
fired on this ground, I will know this was not a cover up, and this wasn't anything like hide and don't say this and don't say that and say I'm not here.
Yeah.
Front and center,
Dude.
every problem,
I love
every
it.
praise.
I love it.
Every single time we were there,
And you know
we
what?
showed up.
I
Rob.
love that. And for the folks that are watching us right now, listen, here's the key. They need to know in their business and their ventures that it's okay to make a mistake.
Absolutely.
If you make a mistake, own it, because I've seen a lot of people lose momentum.
1,000%.
They could be good people.
Absolutely.
But because they want to please and or, maybe kind of out of fear justify
Or
their
ego.
position.
Could be anything.
Yeah, they all of a sudden when somebody blinks inappropriately,
Mm-hmm.
right? Not out of genuine, like I'm sorry.
Of course.
But like fake confusion.
Yep.
We talk about fake
Exactly,
confusion.
right,
Fake
right.
confusion is a real thing.
Yep.
I'm not sure if you're going to see it in the dictionary, but fake confusion. You ready? Here's fake
Urban
confusion.
Dictionary, yeah.
Here's fake confusion. Oh, wait. I was supposed to pay my taxes or file by April 15th? I didn't know that.
Is that new?
So that's fake
Yeah,
confusion.
yeah.
But anyway, for all you folks that are out there, it's important to know that, listen, at the end of the day, it's okay to make a mistake. Be honest. Be integral.
And be genuine.
And at the end,
genuine.
make sure you do your work until the end of the day. Get everything done. Don't miss what you said you were going to do. Back to you,
And can I
brother.
say one more thing?
Yeah, man. Please.
I have garnered so much respect. And now I'm not telling you or saying go out and make mistakes. or
Yeah.
anything. But of the times that I've done that, and I'm not tooting my own horn, but of the times that anything like that has happened, we got more positive of an experience
Because everybody makes mistakes.
on the feedback,
Yeah.
but not everybody owns up to it. So it's so refreshing for to own up to a taxpayer where hey, I was filing your tax return. These two papers stuck together. I apologize. Here's the steps I'm going to do to correct it. If you get a letter of penalty, I'm going to pay. When you're that front and center, we got better Google reviews on mistakes we've made than
I love it.
owned up to it and corrected it.
I love it.
Than somebody who we just did a fantastic job out of the gate.
I love it.
And you don't hear from again. So again, I'm not saying go out and make mistakes and then try to own up to it. But
Well said, Anth.
well handled puts you front and center up.
And what I noticed about you, and to share for all these folks out here, that, if you're an entrepreneur, I'm not saying that be a jet plane and don't have any rear view mirrors. Although if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you do live one life. One of the things I've noticed about Anthony is he is a jet plane. His ability to scale and his ability to constantly looking to build is, I'll put him up there with Sean Callaghan and Chris Crone.
Thank you for
straight
that.
up.
Thank you for that.
Like there's a lot of commonalities there. Like there's not a lot of people that I could say that about. And what I've seen you do since I've known you, I think since 2013, right?
A couple of years
we're
now,
coming
yeah.
on. We're coming on a decade.
Anniversary, yeah.
Yeah, once you get to a decade, you kind of know each other,
Yeah,
right?
7-year itch, Rob. We're past it.
I'm not scratching.
No, don't even ask.
But with that being said, though, what's important to know is like Anthony's scalability in the face of uncertainty. Listen, the real magic in any kind of growth is when you're uncertain, but you could also put forth your best foot and have clear thinking no matter what's going on around you. And what I noticed about you, brother, you're really good at that. I think when we first met, there was 2 practices, right? Yep. You're up to 6 now. Right. But why don't you speak about how, you're sick with COVID, 3 different opportunities. Someone wants to buy you out. I won't name names. Mm-hmm. There's a practice that's being offered out of nowhere. How do you make decisions when you're at your physical, mental weakness? Because that's where the magic is.
Right.
No doubt in my mind
Rob,
about
absolutely. And I don't want to sound like doing any voodoo that I do.
Do it.
When you feel in your gut and you just start to see and almost a sixth sense of man, things are falling. Nothing happens to me. It happens for me. And it's a learning experience. And to speak to what you're saying, I'm sick with COVID and fast forward 102 fever, 102.8, 9-10 days in a row. Opportunities came up that I had to capture. Yeah. And, and it wasn't easy. And it was, let me get off the sofa and be on a Zoom call or whatever. And I want to toot my own horn with that.
But I had COVID. Believe me, I was there.
And when these opportunities come up, they're not always gift wrapped under the tree.
Oh, no.
They're not always served to you on a silver platter.
Never.
So you've got to have the wherewithal to say, this is an opportunity worth jumping on, or this is something I'm going to let pass. Yeah. So at the same time, like you said, I mean, some stars start to align, but there's just an uncanny sense of seeing this is all like the architect of the universe is clicking all of these things together. Yeah. And I mean, whoever you believe in or pray to or whatever is beside the point. But to start seeing at the very same time this is happening, this was reintroduced to my life. And I say reintroduced because if it wasn't there the first time, I wouldn't have the memory of it or it wouldn't be familiar to me. Yeah. So to have the 2 opportunities somewhat line up, but be able to connect the dots and say, hey, if we could merge these, there's a synergy happening here, is phenomenal. Yeah. And it excites me. And as a matter of fact, I wanted to do a bulk mailer. Okay. So, mom's at home, she's chilling and I get to the office at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Every day, right?
Every day.
Yep. Well, hold on. 4:30 every morning.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
4:30 every
Beat the sun up every
morning.
Day. Yeah.
I can't wait till I get there.
So, I leave a care package for mom, which are just bulk mail letters we want to get out, pre-addressed envelopes with all our return address and the database of clients and stamps. And, I leave it in a box and some muffins that I got for her and staplers and all supplies. And it reminded me of that scene in The Aviator. And again, it sounds like I'm tooting my own horn, and I don't want to be perceived that way. There's a scene in The Aviator, I don't know if you remember it, and Alec Baldwin is measuring the globe, and he's in his main office, and somebody tells him, like, hey, Howard Hughes just bought up TWA, and he's calmly measuring the globe, and he says, I thought Howard Hughes was flying around the Atlantic, and they said, oh, well, he is, So I leave this package on my mom's steps, and I don't want to wake her up at 4:30. So she later on calls me in the day, and she's like, "Oh my God, I saw the work, and thank you so much, and give me something to do. When did this happen?" You know, we had merged with and purchased a CPA firm by us. I said, "Oh, Ma, it happened last month." And she says, "You know, I thought you were sick with COVID." I says, well, so she's reading the content of the letter, and I'm like, "Well, yes, Mom, I was." And like you say, Rob, when something feels right, it just feels right. And when it excites you and you jump to life, man, nothing is better than that.
Well said. I appreciate
nothing
that.
Is
I
better
love the
than
journey
that.
you just took us on.
Thank you for that.
Awesome. And your mom, you know, that's great. Like you give her, that's awesome.
It's a grassroots mom and pop. I think no matter how big you get, to still have my kids stuffing envelopes, putting stamps on postcards.
Love it.
Dude.
I love it.
That's the real world.
I love it.
My son flips Nike's shoes on eBay, on whatever, all day long.
He's doing that right now?
All day long. And to him, he could be doing that and making $100 in 10 to 15 minutes. So to give him $15 an hour to put stamps on postcards does not excite him.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
But it's the ethic. It's dude, this is the real world. And this is the guerrilla marketing that I love to do.
Yep.
That's just part of the overall business.
Yes.
So net, I'm proud of him that he wants to make $100 in 5 minutes and not $15 an hour.
Yep.
But on the flip side, I think there's some lessons there.
Yeah. No doubt about it.
Keeps it in the family. Right?
So how many clients do you have now, Anth, if you don't mind me asking?
We have close to 4,000 individual clients.
Wow.
And we've got maybe anywhere from about 900 to 1,100 small businesses.
So as an entrepreneur, 4,000 clients, 900 small businesses, growth, digestible growth. What has it been like for you to be able to make sure those clients are heard, seen, felt as you bring on new members to be able to articulate that message?
Thank you. That is an awesome question you ask, Rob, because thanks. Because it is not without growing pains that every step of and every acceleration and you know, you tend to have spurts, just like a child. We have growth spurts, and it's like, wow, I can't keep up with all these referrals and the new business and blah, 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 blah. You've got to stop because that foundation cracks and you actually implode. So what happens? Anthony, I have this client. They've been coming to you since you were a paper boy. They only want to speak to you.
Yep.
Okay. I got this client who's new business, and to me, I think I could sell myself and my firm the best of anybody.
Sure.
I got to talk to that person. So what starts happening, Rob, is you start to do this.
Yeah.
You start to realize I can't. And you've got to have sympathetic, empathetic, passionate people who work with you to deliver that message, whether it's the new client or whether it's the client that's been with me since I'm 8, and to say, hey, let's celebrate his growth together. That's awesome that he was your paper. Return that narrative to not say, oh, Anthony's too big for me, and I remember him when he was in short pants, and now he can't even take my call.
I get that too,
Of course, but what to do with that call and the training, that the staff, because it beats the staff up too. You know, so like you're saying, whether it's the Caligie formula, whether it's just our internal training, every single person who calls is Rob Gill, is somebody's mom, is somebody's client. So you've got to remember, they might be one of 50 phone calls that you got for the day, but it's the first time this person is calling, and it's something that concerns them. We've got to put that first and foremost between the client before us who just beat us up or anything like that. So it's a journey, Rob.
So, you know, I'm thinking about, I know for me, I get emails all the time, so you have great email campaigns.
Thank you.
When it comes to where does Anthony see himself in 5 years, right? I'm sure the campaigns are going to be elevated from where they are now, or potentially. But what does it look like for you 5 years from now? Never mind 10, because 5 years is a decade.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You know,
could be a
Rob,
lifetime.
Of course, depends on who
Based
you're
on
talking to and what's going on. I think you see my passion for the business and what I do. I see myself more as the CEO of these locations.
Got it.
Of these 6 locations. Hopefully by then it's 12 or 18 or 20 locations. And managing that business, in assuring that every single client is treated as though they're the only client. Making sure that quality control is there. And not only that, I mean, that's fantastic, but you also then need knowledgeable staff to back it up. We could be personable and likable, but if you can't add 2 + 2.
Produce results.
You got to produce results.
Absolutely. Wow. So for anyone listening, how could they, first of all, reach out to you?
Of course.
If anybody wants to talk to you about doing a podcast, what's the best way to connect with you?
So any number of ways. You could find us online at mytaxfella.com. mytaxfella.com,
Yep.
mytaxfella.com. I don't know if you saw my billboard out there. DJ passed it. I got a big billboard on
Yes, I
33.
did. Yes,
Did you see
yes,
that? My big-
I did see that.
Thank
Yes.
you much for that.
I saw
Got
a picture of it too.
Yeah, it's awesome,
yeah,
right? So you could find my billboard out there. You could find me online at mytaxfella.com.
But by the way, a lot of people are outside of you could do taxes
Of course.
all across the country, right?
I'm an enrolled agent. I'm licensed by the Internal Revenue Service.
Yep.
I have CPAs, other EAs who work with me.
Yeah.
You need not be in my state for me to represent you at audit, to prepare your tax return, or do anything like that.
Yep.
Everybody is welcome, Rob.
Yeah, and for all my folks out there that love real estate, that love the ability to use their life insurance strategy to purchase real estate, if you're listening, Anthony's expertise as an accountant enrolled agent in the space of real estate is present as well. You are a not only believer but owner in real estate, right?
Without and as well as using those policies
Yep.
as collateral and a springboard
Yeah.
to just accumulate more, Rob. And
Yeah.
this is a whole other topic that we could talk about for hours.
Yes.
Something that you introduced me to. Nobody knows it all.
Yes.
You introduced that to
Yes.
me. And since
Yes.
doing so, I can only say that that has exponentially taken off.
Yes.
So again, I mean, we could talk about this for hours.
Yeah.
Life insurance portfolio, real estate portfolio,
Yeah.
complementing one another
Yep.
with a cohesive plan and planner. Again, that's just another revenue stream, passive income. That,
And you're a multiple business owner too. Like there's
multiple
other
business
businesses that you have as well.
Yes, sir.
That and maybe on our next we could dig deeper into that.
Of course.
So we could really kind of stick into it. But you believe in the concept of folks that know how to leverage their own money and being able to get multiple uses of their
multiple
money.
spins, Rob. If I
Yeah,
could
and
steal some Rob Gill
and multiple businesses.
vernacular. Yes,
multiple spins.
Correct.
So listen, everybody, I want to thank everybody for checking in. Anthony Moriello crushed it today as always. I would suggest if anyone has any questions about taxation, anything, even if somebody's getting audited, Anthony's
Absolutely.
tremendous.
The first call you should make.
He's tremendous in this space. Just want to throw that out there.
Thank you, Rob.
And I think that it's always important to make sure no matter what's going on in your world, your I dot and T cross, and it's tied to your economic philosophy. And by the way, all of your planners are on the same page for your benefit. So, Anthony, thank you so much.
Thank you for
coming.
having me, man. This
Appreciate
is a
it,
good
brother.
time.
Yes,
Thank you much.
always.
Thank you much.
Checking out.